I bet you had no idea that U-Haul made campers back in 1984. I just bought this camper the other day and I'm very excited to show you guys what it is, who made it, why I bought it, and all the fun stuff we're gonna do with it. I've been searching for a good deal on a fiberglass camper for years. Like, I can't even express how long. I have marketplace notifications, Craigslist notifications. I look at auctions, I look at yard sales. I've been always trying to find one, specifically a fiberglass one. And I got a crazy deal on this from a really nice lady. She's an artist in Fruita, Colorado. I was so lucky to contact her when I did. It was listed at a really, really good deal for what it is. And I literally messaged her within 2 minutes of the listing going live on Marketplace. And I expressed to her that I'm a serious buyer. I want to see it as soon as possible. I showed up an hour later at her house. And by that time, she already had 39 messages on Marketplace, cash in hand, people even offering more than what she's asking just to get it. So this is a 1984 U-Haul CT13. You're probably wondering, U-Haul, like the fleet rental company that you rent trucks to move stuff from house to house? Yes, U-Haul. Back in 1984, they made a fleet of these. There is supposedly around 1,700 made, so they are extremely rare and collectors go nuts for them. Pretty funny story. In 1984, U-Haul started making these as fleet rentals, and nothing is officially released by the company, but they had poor management of finances. There's some people on forums that say who it was, what CEO, but poor management, which completely ruined this very ahead of its time rental business. Let's start with the tour of the outside, then I'll give you a tour of the inside and talk about what I'm gonna fix, things I'm gonna change, and what I'm gonna do with this thing. So before I start telling you everything about this camper, one thing you gotta keep in mind, this is made by U-Haul and it was made to be rented by thousands and thousands of people. This is the most overly built, overly engineered camper you can find. Starting from the outside, so this is the U-Haul CT13 model, 13 for 13 feet. The camper shell is 10 feet long from the back to the front, and from the bumper to the tongue, that is 13 feet. It only weighs 1,200 pounds. Weighing at only 1,200 pounds and being 13 feet long from bumper to tongue is amazing. It tows like a dream. I can't even feel it on my Land Cruiser. Like, I will drive 60, 70, 50 on dirt roads. I don't feel it. I do feel it when I slow down. That is a Land Cruiser thing. I gotta upgrade the brakes. But other than slowing down and pressing the brakes, I don't even feel it, which is perfect because I have a lot of plans with this. Plan on taking this all over the country. This is a double-walled, double-shelled fiberglass camper. Fully fiberglass, excellent for preventing leaks, super lightweight. You can easily fix it, and it's extremely durable. And if you haven't noticed yet, this extremely, some would say ugly, but I kind of like it. It's pretty funky. This steel bumper. So because it was a rental, they had to really protect their investment and make sure the people and their property are safe. This is a pretty heavy-duty steel bumper. I'm excited about it. It not only offers a lot of protection, but it allows me to add more storage. I can weld a spare tire carrier, a large box. I can have the box come up to the window. It can store and hold a lot of things. And one thing to point out, this is all original lights, original wiring. Every light, every blinker, everything still works, including the license plate light. This is not the original color. This has been repainted over by previous owners. I really wish they didn't. I love the color, don't get me wrong. I kind of want to restore it back to the original rental fleet look. Please tell me if that's crazy. Let me know down in the comments if I should do that or not. It's unfortunate because I really do love the color. That is one of my favorite colors. But right here is where you normally see the U-Haul logo, but they painted right over it. And they did use a white paint that I believe is not marine grade. It's not meant for being exposed in the elements. So there is a little bit of discoloration if you look really closely, but quite honestly, it looks really good for its age. Being a U-Haul rental, this thing is overly built. For most people, it won't mean much, but the frame down on the bottom, so there's a frame and then the shell, that is all tubular steel. It's kind of unheard of in the camper world. It's not cheap for the manufacturers to make that, but it is so durable. This thing will never have an issue on these dirt roads and BLM roads. And in the front, you have your usual little tongue storage area. I don't know what people call it. I'm gonna call it the tongue storage area. It's a decent amount of space. Currently holds the spare tire, which I do want to mount in the back, and then the propane tank. I plan on very soon making a very large aluminum storage box, all just right here. That will come up right below the window and fit in that shape right there. It'll offer a lot of storage and protection for the camper for when those tires kick up rocks. It still has the original badging. So these campers were made in 3 different facilities. This specific one was made in Youngstown, Ohio. I love stuff with like history and character, and this thing is pretty sweet. Let me show you the inside. When I wanted to buy this camper, my biggest deal breaker was if I was able to stand up right. I'm 5'11", and I fit with no issue. You can easily be 6'1" and clear the roof, which is a pretty big deal for a 10-foot camper. So when you walk in, on the right side, there's a pretty large bench, aka the dog's bed, and it's super comfortable to sit down, get work done, play with the dogs. Offers a lot of storage down here on both sides of that. And then in the middle, there's this little storage area, perfect for a composting toilet or whatever you need to store down there. Comes with these latches so you can secure it so it doesn't slide around when you drive. And you have the kitchen with the original U-Haul cabinets. These things are pretty sweet. This is original hinges as well. I still can't believe they work. This is original as well. Excuse the mess. I have not figured out how to store everything yet. And then you have the countertop, obviously not original paint. Offers a decent amount of storage for cooking. I'm very excited to cook some meals on here out in the middle of nowhere. The original stove works perfectly fine. Hood vents still work. I have not tried the light yet, honestly, so this is on the camera. That still works. That is pretty crazy. And this is the unfortunate part. I'm not sure what previous owner did this, but these are not the original cabinets. These are honestly one of the first things I'm gonna fix. The hardware is really, really bad. It barely closes. They don't stay closed. They just slide open and everything just falls out. It's a pretty cheap hardware, but I'll take care of that. And then down here, you have a spot for an electric cooler. I believe like a 23-quart cooler will fit down here. Ooh, forgot I left some bread down there. But this is just on 2 drawer slides. I won't be able to fit a very large cooler, but it's totally fine with me just because I'll always have my Land Cruiser with me. I have a Dometic 45 liter in there, which is more than fine with me. Then I'll have about a 30-liter electric cooler in the camper. It is way more than enough. Then we have 2 drawers stacked up, and this one actually just folds open. So the lady I bought the camper from, she makes pottery, and she's an artist. And once I bought the camper, she let me walk in her display room and let me pick something out, and I'm really happy I got this. I gotta keep this with the camper at all times. I gotta find a way to protect it. If you guys have any ideas, let me know. I'm gonna try to keep it in this storage area, but can't have this crack. Original light, they still work. And then we have this little divide between the sleeping area and the, I guess, living room, what you'd wanna call it. But it's just a massive area for storage. So in here, there's a decent amount of storage. I'm thinking of making shelves so I can put more things in there. And then right below it, we have where the battery's gonna go. I'm borrowing this from a friend. At the moment, this is not permanent, but it is pre-wired for DC. So you just gotta place a battery in there, strap it down, and plug in DC. And that gives power to everything in the camper. So this area is one of my favorite things about this camper. This seating and table area converts down to a bed, and it only takes like a minute. So from where my feet are to my head, it is about 6'2" of space. Way more than enough space for my dogs and I. Super comfortable. I've slept in this a few nights already camping just to test it out, and it offers a great amount of space. Another really nice feature of this camper is the seating area, which turns into a bed, also is just a ton of storage. Underneath every little corner is tons of storage, like more than I would ever need, which quite honestly is really nice when you have dogs, so you can store all your random stuff. And then same thing on this side. One thing you might see and think is really ugly, and I agree, is this little carpet thing right here. It's pretty poorly installed by one of the previous owners. But the way this camper shell was designed, it's a little different than other camper shells where the top half and the bottom half are two pieces where they connect. This is actually made with a design where it's left and right side put together. So this thing right here you see is a cosmetic thing to cover where the fiberglass connects. I think it's really, really ugly and I'm going to change that. I'm thinking of putting like a really nice marine grade carpet or something, a nice fabric, and I'll use like construction adhesive to stick it on so it's not just like floating right here and screwed in poorly. And then we have the windows on all the corners. They all still work, but I found this out on my first night camping. The windows do leak. Should be as expected. This camper's what, nearly 40 years old. The gaskets and the seals are all rotting out and they need to be replaced. That'll be a future project. So that was a tour of the outside and the inside. Now let me show you the things that I will be changing and fixing ASAP. First and most importantly, I do not trust this jack at all. It is the original jack. It is a little questionable and it bends. So I'll be changing that with a brand new one that is more reliable and something I can actually trust when I'm in the middle of nowhere. Another thing I will be needing to fix are these windows. So these windows are original. You can still see the U-Haul not for sale right there. Being original windows, the gaskets and the seals are completely rotted out. You can see where the previous owner kind of used something to stick it back together. But what happens is the water comes down here and then it drips to the inside. Nearly on all the windows, it's mainly the one in the back, but I'm assuming they're all rotted out. I've still not decided yet if I should get all new windows or just fix it. Fixing them is basically the same exact labor as getting new ones, but new windows are thousands and thousands of dollars. Another thing I have to do is fixing these cabinets. The hardware is really, really bad and they barely close, lock, and they always slide open. I also really want to repaint this. I have a horrible eye for aesthetics and I'm super indecisive. If any of y'all have any recommendations, please leave in the comments what color I should paint these, maybe the type of hardware. It would really help me out a lot. The next thing I'll be changing are these curtains. I want to get fully blackout curtains and I'm not a big fan of the color and obviously they're kind of falling apart. But yeah, please leave a comment down below on the color of the cabinets, the curtains, and obviously this ugly mess right here that is completely just falling apart. Another big project I have coming up very soon is the electric setup. I currently am borrowing a Jackery 1000 Pro from a friend. This is temporary, but this camper needs a proper setup with amp hour batteries, inverters, and everything. I'm really excited. That's actually going to be one of the first projects I'll be working on for this camper. I got contacted by a battery company that makes really good amp hour batteries. I can't say too much until the video's out, but that'll be one of the first projects. I'm really excited to have this camper and document everything with y'all. I will be making a multiple part series where I will be fixing a handful of things on the camper, adding an electrical system, doing some cosmetic work, and making this road worthy to take this on a massive road trip. I really appreciate y'all watching this video. If y'all have any questions about the camper, what I'm going to be doing, or if you have any recommendations on things I should do with it, please comment down below. But anyways, thank y'all for watching.